I was 6 years old when the Islamic Revolution happened in Iran, and after that, the Ayatollahs made everyone's life hell. Right after that, the Iran-Iraq War started. So growing up, all I knew was living in a war and under dictatorship. When I was 15, the war had intensified, and my parents were now really worried about our well-being and future, so they made the hardest decision in their lives. They decided to pay a human smuggler to take me and my brother out of Iran, across the mountains into Turkey, and then from there to Sweden, because they wanted to give us the best chance in life. One day, the lady in charge of our escape told my parents that she had planned for us to be outside of Tehran for a few days to practice and get ready for the real escape. The night before our training, my parents took us to her house so we could leave early in the morning. But as soon as they left, she said, "This is not a drill. We're leaving tomorrow." And then we were walking for days across those snow-covered mountains, freezing, and yet there were no signs of a destination. I even passed out a couple of times from exhaustion. Right before crossing the border, we got caught in a snowstorm that nearly killed us. And this whole time, my parents had no idea where we were. Once we reached Turkey, all the plans changed. That lady that my parents had paid, she turned out to be a scammer. She never meant to take us all the way to Sweden, so our only option was to turn ourselves to the UN as refugees, and we ended up waiting for months without even knowing what's going to happen to us. It took us a year until we finally reached Sweden. And then it took me 5 years until I saw my mom, and 8 years until I saw my dad again for the first time since that night they dropped us off. Still today, I can't imagine what my parents went through the entire time during our escape. Can you? Trusting your kids with a stranger to leave the country illegally without knowing what's going to happen to them or when you're going to see them again? The courageous decision my parents made completely changed the trajectory of my life. They wanted to give me the best chance in life, but man, they gave me so much more than that. They taught me that leadership is making tough and life-changing decisions. They showed me that leadership is courage, and courage is leadership. Thank you.
Very good. Well done. Smile. Fantastic.